everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I'm back with another video today, and today's video is going to be all about how I got my dream job as cabin crew and how you guys can hopefully too. So I'm just going to get started with the video straight away. I'm going to start by saying that obviously every airline is going to be different, the recruitment process won't be the same, but I'm just sharing my experience from the airline that I was with and my recruitment journey with them. So the airline that I did work for was TUI Airways. It's a charter airline here in the UK, and I did a mix of short and long haul flights, and I basically got to travel the world, and it was a pretty cool job. So I always get asked, how did I even apply, how did I get started? So all you need to do is just go onto the airline's website that you're looking to work for. Hopefully they'll have a job role going, and you can just click on apply. From then you'll probably need to fill out an online application form. So this is when they're just going to ask you a few personal details all about yourself, why you think you'd be good for the role cabin crew, what would you bring to the role, and why maybe that Pacific airline. So once you fill that all out, then you'll just need to go through the airline's requirements, and I know they're always going to be different, but I have gone to TUI's website today just so I could tell you guys their Pacific requirements. So the first requirement is that you need to be at least 18 years old at the time of joining or applying actually. You need to be able to hold a valid passport because obviously you're going to be going flying, so it's very important that you have a passport that's in date and obviously free for you to fly all over the world. You need to always be able to live and work in the UK legally. That's obviously very important that you can actually work in the country and that you don't have any travel restrictions. You need to be able to be fluent in English, and that's writing as well, so talking and writing fluent in English. Able to reach the height of 6'2". So I'm only 5'3.5" myself, and I managed to reach it absolutely fine, so I wouldn't worry about this. It's just the overhead compartments that you get on the aircraft, so if you can reach those then you'll be absolutely fine. And the next requirement was to be able to swim 25 metres unaided. So this will be tested in your training, but as long as you're a basic swimmer then you'll be absolutely fine. And the next requirement is you need to be willing to cover any tattoos or piercings that obviously are visible in uniform. So this could be a sleeve that you may just need to cover with a long sleeve shirt, or any tattoos that you've got on your hands or say your neck. You just need to be able to and willing to cover it with makeup or a plaster, and TUI's absolutely fine with that, so there's no need to worry about that. So once you've checked that you meet all of the requirements, then you can go ahead and submit your application, and obviously you just need to wait to hear back ready for the next stage. So with TUI specifically, the next stage is a video online interview. So once you've heard back, you will receive an email with the link to the online video interview, and it consists of 3 different questions, and I'm trying to remember on the top of my head. I think my questions was, why would you like to work for TUI, what's your favourite holiday destination, and why do you think you'll be good for the role? And the good thing about TUI is you can pre-record your answers as many times as you like. So obviously if you do muck up on the first time, you can do it as many times as you need until you think it's perfect, and then obviously you can submit it. The tips for the video interview is just to be yourself, be friendly, approachable, be confident in your answers, and just research the company. That's obviously always going to stand out a little bit more. So they're my main tips for the online video interview. And then the next stage, once you've heard back from there, if you are successful, if you make it to this stage, you've already done so well, so it's a huge achievement. And then you'll go on to the assessment centre now, which is basically kind of like the interview, but you're not guaranteed the interview at the end, so you have to go through the entire day at the assessment centre to obviously find out. So with the assessment centre, you need to go look in the part. So this is what I'm going to start off with first. So you really need to look the part of crew. I always think that your hair tied back quite neat is really nice. Obviously to wear a little bit of visible makeup, and obviously if you're not into wearing makeup all the time then that's absolutely fine, but just so it looks like you've made a little bit of effort, you've got like maybe a nice red lip or a nude pink lip would be nice. And I'd also go with a suit, like a skirt suit. So I wore a black blazer, white blouse and a black skirt, with some stockings or tights and some heels. And obviously if you're not good in heels, don't buy stilettos, just little ones, absolutely fine. It just makes you look the part of crew. And if any guys are watching, I would just go for the formal suit, and make sure you're just clean shaven and had a nice haircut. So that's my tips for presentation ready to go to the assessment centre. So once you've been invited to the assessment centre, you'll probably get to choose from multiple different dates that obviously you can choose to go from, which one works for you. And then once you arrive at the assessment centre, you'll probably be given a name badge straight away, just so then everyone knows your name and you know each other's names. And then this is when it all begins. So they'll probably start with a presentation all about the company. This is when the recruiters will get to introduce themselves to you guys, and they'll tell you a bit about the role to make sure that everyone's familiar with it and that if you're actually interested in doing the role. Because obviously if you've got no idea, you don't really know what to expect. It might be that it's completely different to what you first imagined, so it's actually not something you're interested in. So I think they like to do this at the start just to make sure that everyone knows why they're there, everyone knows about the role, and then everyone's happy and ready to continue. So after their presentation, I'd say you probably go on to a group task. This is what happened on my assessment centre anyway. So the group task is basically you'll get split into multiple different groups, so probably a small group around 4 or 5 of you, and you'll get taken into a room where the recruiters are sat around the room and they're going to give you a scenario just on like a laminated sheet for you to try and resolve in the group. So there is no wrong or right answers, it's literally just to see how you communicate and work well as a team. So I think some of the scenarios that I had is there's one blanket left on board the aircraft. Who deserves the blanket? Would it be the elderly passenger or the mum and baby or the returning customer? So you just need to work well as a team to obviously resolve it, say your opinion. I think my tips in this part is just to be yourself, be confident, don't be overconfident. So don't talk too much but don't talk too less. Definitely get your opinion in there, and it's a really nice touch as well to use people's names. So say if you've got like Lucy for instance sat next to you and she's a bit more quiet, you could obviously bring her into the group, get her involved, be like, guys, I think these are all great ideas, but Lucy, what did you think? And just incorporating her into the group will show the recruiter that you're aware of what's around you, you're confident and you're kind, and they're all obviously key roles they're looking for within cabin crew. So that's definitely one of my tips. Another tip would also be, it probably will be a time limited, so the recruiter will tell you at the start you've got 15 minutes to complete this. So another nice touch is to maybe take it up your own initiative and say, guys, why don't I keep an eye on the time? This shows to obviously the recruiters that you're going to be punctual, you've got time management skills, and that's obviously another important quality of cabin crew. So they're my top tips, and my last one would be smile, be nice, look happy, look like you want to be there, and you'll be fine. So after the group task, you'll probably be then taken for a lunch break, probably about half an hour. That's another thing that I probably should say. It will be quite a long day. I think I was there from about 9 in the morning till 5 in the evening, so definitely take your lunch. So yeah, you'll probably have a small lunch break, and then the recruiters will come back out and they'll start reading names off their sheet. And unfortunately this is the part when people will get sent home, so not everyone does make it to the afternoon session. It will be only the ones that they've done well in the morning. So obviously it's when people that you've met, you've got along with, start to go home, but you just need to remember why you're there, remain confident and positive, and just try and carry on as best as you can with the afternoon. So after they've obviously cut people and people have gone home, the next part for myself anyway was to do a role play. So in my role play scenario, it was myself and 2 recruiters, and they basically set up like a small fake plane kind of thing with an aisle, and the recruiter was basically just being a awkward passenger, and I was doing the meal service and they basically wanted duty free whilst I was doing the meal service. So obviously all you need to do is just remain calm, try and put the customer first, try and make them happy as possible, but also follow the rules. So realistically, I mean, I had no idea at the time because I wasn't cabin crew before, but realistically, if you are in the middle of doing the meal service, you can't just stop and start serving duty free. So it's all about just making the customer aware of that you're following the rules, but you're also providing the best service that you can, and ultimately the customer needs to be kept happy. So after my role play, we then went on to do a cabin announcement. So this was probably the scariest part for me because I dreamt about being cabin crew for so long, and then you're there, the recruiter's asking you to read out like the cabin announcement, and it just starts to feel like a little bit more real. So in my scenario, they gave me just a laminated cabin announcement to read out loud. I think it literally is not a trick, it's just for the recruiter to be able to see that you are able to speak confidently, you can speak fluently in English and just enjoy it, have a bit of confidence, maybe show your personality with it as well. This is kind of like your time to shine. You're on a one-to-one with the recruiter, so all of their attention's on you, so this is your time to really put yourself out there and be confident and show them exactly why you're perfect for the role. So after you've done your role play and the company announcement, it will then be to see if you've got the final interview. Now there is a lot of waiting around at this point, so you just have to try and remain as calm and confident as you can. I remember they did it in alphabetical order and I literally was last, so I had to wait right to the end for my interview. But the interview was really nice. My lady was called Julie and she was absolutely lovely. I couldn't have asked for a better interviewer at the time, and she just asked me some customer focus based questions, so pretty much when was the time that you've gone above and beyond for a customer? When was the time you've worked well under pressure? When was the time you've worked well in a team? Those sort of questions that you can find so easily on Google. I think there was around 12 questions altogether, but as long as you're prepared, you know what you're talking about, then you'll be absolutely fine. She also asked me another question as well. It was about the assessment day actually. She said, how would you think the day's gone? And I'll tell you a funny story, guys. When I went for my interview, my skirt that I was wearing actually did split, so basically right up my bum. So I just used my own initiative and used my scarf that I was wearing for the day just wrapped around me as a skirt, because obviously when you are flying, you're 38,000 feet in the air, you can't just get a new skirt, so I just improvised with what I had. So I just said to her, I really enjoyed the day, obviously getting to meet new people, I just wish I wore a better skirt. So a little laugh about that, and it kind of just broke the ice a little bit. So yeah, once you've done all that, that's the end of the day. So you've made it throughout the whole day, which is such a huge achievement. So no matter what happens after this and whatever the outcome is, you should be so proud of yourself that you even got that far, because a lot of people do apply for the cabin crew role, so to even make it all that way, like I said, it's a huge achievement. So I waited 2 weeks to hear back once I got the email to say that I had been successful and I got the job as cabin crew. So yeah, I was super happy, and it didn't take long to hear back. I know some airlines can take 6 months to hear back. So yeah, 2 was nice and short, but obviously it will be dependent on the airline that you go for. So that was kind of like my experience from start to finish going to the assessment centre. Obviously, like I did say, it won't be the same for every single airline. This is just how it worked out for me, and I actually had a really nice experience. I got to meet so many. The video of just some of my top tips for an assessment centre day, what you can do to stand out, and that will hopefully help you get the job. So my number one tip was just to be yourself. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for individual personalities, someone that can bring something different to their airline, someone that can make a difference to their passengers. So if you go in there being someone that you're not, the chances are once you do start the role, you're not going to be the same person. You might not even enjoy it as much yourself. So number one rule, always be yourself. My second tip would be smile. Smile, smile, smile. You might seem like you're coming across fake, but well, you might feel like you are, but I promise, especially in the cabin crew environment, in an interview, you can never smile too much. It just shows that you're really friendly, approachable, and they're also the main qualities they look for in their crew. So my next tip would be dress the part. Like I said earlier, it really is important that you go in there looking the part of crew already. It's so much easier for the recruiters to already see you as crew, what you look like, and obviously if you look amazing, they're going to want to recruit you even more. And also you'll feel so much more confident in yourself if you go in there really well prepared. Then you're obviously going to stand out as well. So then moving on from that, my next other tip would be prepared. So do your research about the company, read the job description. I can almost guarantee they're telling you what they look for in their crew, what they want from someone in the job description. So if you just read it a few times, take down notes, obviously have your customer service based questions, have strong answers for that, and then you really will have nothing to worry about. And I think my last and final tip would just to be kind. So you're there, enjoy yourself, meet new people, make new friends. It's really not a competition. Obviously when you go for your standard job interview, there usually is only one role, but with cabin crew you're really lucky. There is normally a role for every single one of you, so there's no need to be competing against each other. And I just feel like if you all get along with each other, it'll make your day much more enjoyable and you'll be more confident as well. So yeah, be kind with each other and don't see it as a competition. The more you help each other, probably the better and further you're going to get. So yeah. being cabin crew really is the best job in the world. I've got to see places, meet people that I never thought I'd get to in a lifetime. So I 1000% recommend it, and if you're even to think about it, just go for it. So even if this video just helps one person, gives them the courage to apply, then I feel like making this video was worth it. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you all in my next video.